Maria Santos thought her biggest worry was hiding her cancer diagnosis from her teenage daughter. She never imagined that Michael Jordan would show up at her Chicago apartment with a small golden box, ready to reveal secrets that had been buried for 39 years. What started as a quiet afternoon became the most viral video of the year. But the gift inside that box? Nobody saw that coming. This is the story of a love that survived decades of separation, a mother's impossible choices, and the moment when the whole world discovered that some surprises change everything. Sofia Santos was supposed to be doing homework. Instead, she was scrolling through TikTok on her phone, hiding behind her bedroom curtain. Her mom always said no phones during study time, but Maria was in the kitchen making dinner. She wouldn't know. "1 second, Mom." Sofia called back, but she didn't move from the window. A tall man in a suit got out of the middle car. Even from the second floor, she could see he was huge. Basketball player huge. Then she saw his face. Sofia's phone almost slipped from her hands. She knew that face. Everyone in Chicago knew that face. It was on murals all over the city. It was on the jersey hanging in her closet. It was Michael Jordan. The man walked toward their building, carrying a small wrapped box. Behind him, more people got out of the cars. They had cameras. Sofia's heart pounded. This was really happening. Michael Jordan was walking to their door. But why? Her mom didn't know any famous people. Maria Santos taught second grade at the local elementary school and cleaned offices on weekends. She drove a car that barely worked and bought groceries with coupons. Sofia Elena Santos. "I'm not calling again," her mom shouted. "Mom, you need to come here. Now," Sofia yelled back, pressing her face against the glass. The man was at their building's front door now. He was looking at a piece of paper, checking the address. "What's wrong?" Maria's voice was closer now. She was walking down the hallway. "Just come here. Look out the window." Sofia heard her mom's footsteps stop. Then they started again, faster. Maria appeared in the doorway, wiping her hands on a kitchen towel. "Sofia, what are you?" She stopped talking when she saw her daughter's face. "What happened? You look like you saw a ghost, Mom." Sofia's voice was barely a whisper. "Look outside." Maria walked to the window. She looked down at the street. Her face went completely white. The kitchen towel fell from her hands. The doorbell rang. Both of them froze. It rang again. "Mom, what do we do?" Sofia asked. She had never seen her mother look so scared. Maria just stood there, staring at nothing. Her hands were shaking. "Mom, I can't," Maria whispered. "Sofia, I can't." "Why?" "Mom, what's going on? Do you know him?" Maria's eyes filled with tears. "I knew him a long time ago." Sofia stared at her mom. Maria Santos never cried. Not when the car broke down. Not when the doctor told her about the cancer. Not even when Sofia's dad Roberto died in that accident 8 years ago. But she was crying now. The doorbell rang again. Then someone knocked. A strong, confident knock. "We have to answer it," Sofia said. "We can't just hide." "I don't know if I can face him," Maria whispered. "Face who?" "Mom, you're scaring me." "No way. I'm coming with you." "Sofia." "Mom, that's Michael Jordan at our door. I'm not missing this." Maria looked at her daughter. Even scared and confused, Sofia had that stubborn look she got sometimes. The same look Roberto used to get. The same look. Another knock, gentler this time. "Okay," Maria said quietly, "but let me go first." "Mom," Sofia whispered. "It's okay. Whatever this is, it's okay." Sofia pulled out her phone. She didn't know why, but something told her she needed to record this. This felt important. This felt like one of those moments that changes everything. She hit the record button just as her mom turned the doorknob. Maria opened the door. Michael Jordan stood there, just like in all the pictures and videos, but older now, gray in his hair, lines around his eyes. But still huge, still powerful, still unmistakably him. He wore a simple black jacket and jeans. In his hands was a small box wrapped in gold paper. For a moment, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Then Maria stumbled backward like someone had pushed her. She grabbed the doorframe to keep from falling. "Michael?" Her voice was so quiet. Sophia could barely hear it. "Is that really you?" The man smiled, but his eyes looked sad and nervous. "Hello, Maria," he said. His voice was exactly like on TV, but softer, gentler. "It's been a long time." Maria's legs gave out. She slid down the door frame until she was sitting on the floor. Her phone, which had been in her apron pocket, clattered across the tiles. "I don't understand," she whispered, looking up at him. Why are you?" Michael Jordan stepped inside their small apartment. He looked around at the tiny living room with its old furniture and family pictures on every wall. His eyes stopped on one photo, Maria in her teaching clothes, standing with her students. "You became a teacher," he said. "You always said you would." Maria couldn't seem to form words. Tears were streaming down her face now. Sophia kept recording, her phone shaking in her hands. This was the most amazing and confusing thing that had ever happened to her. Her mom knew Michael Jordan, had known him well enough that seeing him made her cry. Michael knelt down next to Maria. He set the golden box on the floor beside her. "I've been looking for you," he said quietly. "For a very long time." "I can't believe you're here," Maria whispered. "I can't believe you're really here." "There's so much I need to tell you," Michael said. "So much I should have said years ago." He looked up at Sophia, still recording with her phone. "You must be Sophia," he said. "I've heard wonderful things about you." Sophia nearly dropped her phone. Michael Jordan knew her name. "How do you?" she started to ask. "It's a long story," Michael said, looking back at Maria. "And it starts with your mother being the most important person I've ever known." Sophia stopped recording. Her hands were shaking too much to hold the phone steady anyway. She looked at her mom, still sitting on the floor staring at Michael Jordan like he was a miracle. "Mom," Sophia whispered. "What's happening?" Maria looked up at her daughter, then at Michael, then back at Sophia. "I think," she said slowly, "our whole world is about to change." Outside, Sophia could hear people talking excitedly. Car doors slamming, more cameras clicking. Inside their tiny apartment, the three of them sat in the silence of a moment that would soon be seen by millions of people around the world. The golden box sat unopened between them, holding secrets that had waited 39 years to be revealed. Chicago, December. Maria Elena Vasquez pushed her cleaning cart down the empty hallway of the University of Illinois at Chicago basketball facility. Her sneakers squeaked against the polished floor. It was almost midnight, and the building was supposed to be empty, but she could hear something from the gym. Bounce, swish, bounce, swish. Someone was shooting baskets. Maria was 18 years old and had been working 2 jobs for 6 months. During the day, she took classes at the community college. At night, she cleaned buildings to pay for her sick mother's medicine. Her English was getting better, but she still felt nervous talking to people, especially Americans, especially men. But she was curious. Who played basketball this late? She pushed open the gym doors and peeked inside. The lights were on over one basket. A tall log man was shooting free throws by himself. He looked frustrated. Every time he made a shot, he would shake his head like it wasn't good enough. Maria recognized him. Michael Jordan. Everyone on campus knew who he was. The basketball star who might go the NBA soon. She had seen his picture in the student newspaper. He missed a shot. The ball bounced hard off the rim and rolled toward Maria's cleaning cart. "Sorry," he called out, jogging over to get the ball. Then he stopped when he saw her. "Oh, sorry," she said in her careful English. "I clean. I didn't know someone was here." "It's okay," Michael said. He picked up his ball but didn't walk away. "You work late." "Yes, better than daytime. More quiet." Maria started to push her cart away. "I go clean other rooms now." "Wait," Michael said. "What's your name?" Maria stopped. She looked back at him. He didn't look angry or annoyed like some students did when she interrupted them. "Maria," she said quietly. "I'm Michael." "I know," she said, then felt embarrassed. "I mean, everyone knows." Michael smiled. It was a nice smile, not the confident grin she had seen in photos. This smile looked tired. "You want some coffee?" Maria asked suddenly. She didn't know why she said it. The words just came out. Maria nodded toward her cleaning cart. She always brought a thermos of coffee to keep warm during her long nights. I have extra. You look like you need it more than the trash can. Michael laughed. It was the first real laugh she had heard from him. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Maria poured coffee into the thermos cap and handed it to him. Their fingers touched for a second when he took it. His hands were huge compared to hers. This is really good, he said after taking a sip. What's in it? Secret, Maria said with a small smile. My mama's recipe. From Mexico. You're from Mexico? Si. Yes. We came here 3 years ago. For my mama's medicine. Better doctors here. Michael nodded. That must have been hard. Leaving everything. Maria looked at him carefully. Most people didn't ask about that. They either ignored her or made jokes about her accent. A teacher? That's great. Maybe. If I can learn English better. And if... She stopped. She didn't want to talk about money problems with this rich basketball star. Maria shook her head. Nothing. You practice now. I clean. But Michael didn't go back to shooting. He sat down on the bleachers, still holding her coffee. Can I ask you something? He said. Maria nodded. Do you think I'm good enough? The question surprised her. Good enough for what? For the NBA. For the pros. Everyone says I should go. But, he stared down at his coffee. What if I'm not ready? What if I fail? Maria had never thought about famous people having doubts. On TV, and in the newspapers, Michael Jordan always looked confident. Sure of himself, but sitting here in the empty gym, he looked like any other worried college student. You practice every night, she said. Even when no one watches. That means you care. People who care don't fail. Michael looked up at her. You really think that? My papa used to say, the hardest worker in the room always wins. You are hardest worker I see. They sat quietly for a moment. The gym felt huge and empty around them. Every day, Marie admitted. My English is not perfect. Sometimes kids will laugh. But you keep going to school anyway. Yes. Because my mama sacrificed everything for me to be here. I cannot waste her gift. Michael finished the coffee and handed the cap back to her. Thank you. For the coffee and the other stuff. You're welcome. Maria started to push her cart toward the doors. Maria? Michael called. She turned back. Will you be here tomorrow night? I clean here Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Maybe I could practice while you clean. If it doesn't bother you. Maria felt something flutter in her stomach. It doesn't bother me. Good, Michael said, smiling that tired smile again. I'll see you Thursday. Maria pushed her cart out of the gym, but she could still hear him shooting as she walked down the hall. Bounce. Swish. Bounce. Swish. But now it sounded different. Not frustrated. Hopeful. 2 months later. Your English is getting so much better, Michael said as they sat on the bleachers. It had become their routine. He would practice while Maria cleaned, and then they would talk for a few minutes before she had to go to her next building. You are a good teacher, Maria said. Better than my classroom teacher. What do you mean? You don't make me feel stupid when I make mistakes. Mrs. Patterson. She gets impatient. Michael's jaw tightened. She shouldn't do that. You're working harder than anyone to learn. Maria shrugged. Some people think Mexican girls are not smart. Those people are idiots, Michael said firmly. You're the smartest person I know. I don't know about that. Maria laughed. I'm serious. You work 2 jobs, go to school, take care of your mom, and you're still kind enough to share coffee with some guy who can't sleep. Some guy who might be in the NBA next year. Maria pointed out. Maybe, Michael said. The scouts are coming to more games now. Coach thinks I have a real chance. I think so too. You want to know something crazy? Michael said. When I'm out there during games, when the crowd is cheering and the lights are bright, I think about what you said, about hard workers winning. It helps me focus. Maria felt that flutter in her stomach again, stronger this time. Really? Really? Michael looked at her seriously. You help me be better, Maria, at basketball and other things. Yeah? I think you're going to be somebody special. Someone the whole world knows. Michael reached over and touched her hand. So are you, Maria. So are you. Outside, snow was falling on the empty campus. Inside the warm gym, Two young people from completely different worlds were falling in love without even knowing it. Neither of them could imagine that in just a few months everything would fall apart. That pride and fear and impossible choices would tear them away from each other for almost 40 years. But for now, in this moment, they were just Michael and Maria. A boy who dreamed of basketball greatness and a girl who dreamed of teaching children. Two people who found something precious in the quiet hours after midnight. Something that would bring Michael Jordan to Maria Santos' front door 39 years later with a golden box full of secrets. Chicago, June. Maria tried to cover the bruises on her arms with long sleeves, but Michael noticed anyway. He always noticed everything about her. What happened? He asked, gently touching her wrist during their usual late-night talk in the gym. Nothing, Maria said quickly, pulling her arm away. I fell at work. Michael didn't believe her. Maria was the most careful person he knew. She didn't just fall and get finger-shaped bruises on both arms. Maria, please tell me the truth. She looked away from him. For 8 months they had shared everything. Their dreams, their fears, their hopes for the future. But this was different. This was dangerous. I can't, she whispered. Michael had been drafted by the Chicago Bulls 2 weeks ago. He was going to be a professional basketball player. Rich and famous, just like she had predicted. But right now, he looked like the same worried young man she had met in December. Maria's eyes filled with tears. She had been holding this secret for 2 months, ever since her mother got sicker and needed expensive medicine the insurance wouldn't cover. There's this man, she said finally. Carlos Morales. People call him Chico. He loans money to people in my neighborhood. Michael's face went dark. A loan shark. I needed $3,000 for Mama's surgery. The bank said no. My credit is not good. Chico said yes. But now, she touched her arm where the bruises were. I can't pay him back fast enough. How much do you owe him? $4,000 now. The interest, it goes up every week. Michael stood up quickly. I'll pay him. Today. Right now. No. Maria jumped up too. Michael, no. I won't let you. Why not? It's just money. Just money? Maria's voice got loud, echoing in the empty gym. It's not just money, it's my problem. My choice. My mistake. But I can help you, I want to help you. I won't be your charity case, Maria said firmly. I won't be some poor Mexican girl you save. Michael looked hurt. That's not what this is. Then what is it? It's me caring about you. It's me not wanting to see you get hurt by some criminal. They stared at each other across the gym floor. This was their first real fight, and both of them felt scared and confused. I have to handle this myself, Maria said quietly. Why? Why does it have to be by yourself? Because if I let you pay my debts, what am I? What are we? You'll always be the rich basketball star who saved me. I'll always be the girl who needed saving. Michael ran his hands through his hair. That's not how I see you, but that's how everyone else would see it. And maybe someday that's how you would see it too. Never, Michael said firmly. Never. But Maria had made up her mind. She picked up her cleaning supplies and started walking toward the door. Where are you going? Michael asked. To work. I have 3 more buildings tonight. Maria, wait. We need to talk about this. There's nothing to talk about. This is my problem. Michael watched her leave, feeling helpless and angry. He had money now. He could solve this problem with 1 phone call, but Maria's pride was like a wall between them. What he didn't know was that things were about to get much worse. 3 days later, Maria was walking home from her morning classes when a black car pulled up beside her. 2 men got out. She recognized one of them, Carlos Chico Morales. He was short and thick, with gold teeth and expensive clothes that didn't match his cruel eyes. I told you I need more time, Maria said, trying to keep walking. Get in the car, Chico said. It wasn't a request. They drove her to a warehouse on the south side. Inside, it smelled like motor oil and fear. Chico sat behind a metal desk covered with papers and money. You owe me $4,200 now, he said. Plus next week's interest, $4,500. Not fast enough. Chico nodded to the big man, who grabbed Maria's arm and twisted it behind her back. She cried out in pain. You have a little brother, don't you? Chico asked casually. Diego, 13 years old, walks to school every morning on Ashland Avenue. Maria's blood went cold. Don't you dare touch him, then get me my money. You have 1 week. A week? That's impossible. Then find a way to make it possible. Chico stood up and walked around the desk. I hear you have a boyfriend now. Rich boyfriend. Basketball player. Leave him out of this. Why should I? He's got money. You don't. Simple math. I won't ask him for money. Chico laughed. We'll see about that. Because if you don't have my money by next Friday, your little brother is going to have an accident on his way to school. 1 week, Chico called after her. Don't disappoint me. That night, Maria sat in her tiny apartment, staring at the phone. Her mother was asleep in the bedroom. Diego was at the kitchen table doing homework, humming a song their father used to sing. She could call Michael. He would come over right away. He would pay Chico and make all of this go away. But then what? How could she ever look at herself in the mirror? How could she be with Michael knowing she had taken his money? How could she build a life with someone when it started with her needing to be rescued? And what if Chico came back later asking for more? What if other criminals in the neighborhood saw her as an easy target because she had a rich boyfriend? Maria made the hardest decision of her life. She pulled out a piece of paper and started writing. Dear Michael, I have to go away. My family got a job offer in California. It's too good to pass up. I wanted to tell you in person, but I know you would try to change my mind. I also need to tell you something else. I met someone. His name is Roberto. He lives in Los Angeles and has a good job. He wants to marry me. I'm sorry to hurt you this way, but you're going to be a big star, and I'm just a girl from Mexico who cleans buildings. You deserve someone who can fit into your world. Please don't try to find me. This is better for both of us. I'll never forget you, Maria. 2 days later, the Vasquez family was on a bus to California. Michael found the letter taped to his locker after practice. He read it 3 times before it sank in. Then he drove to Maria's apartment, but the landlord said they had moved out in the middle of the night. He called the phone number Maria had given him months ago. Disconnected. He asked other students if they knew where she went. Nobody knew anything. Neither of them knew that Maria's mother would die 2 months later in Los Angeles. Neither of them knew that Maria would spend years regretting her decision. Neither of them knew that Roberto Santos would become a kind stepfather to Diego and a loving husband to Maria, even though she never quite got over her first love. And neither of them knew that 39 years later, when Michael finally found her again, the golden box he carried would contain that same letter, the lie that had kept them apart for almost 4 decades. Some secrets destroy everything instead. Michael Jordan kept Maria's school photo in his wallet for 39 years. It was a small black and white picture from her community college ID. She was smiling, but her eyes looked tired from working all night. Every few months, especially during quiet moments, he would take it out and wonder what happened to her. Where did she go in California? Did she marry that Roberto guy? Was she happy? His basketball career exploded exactly like Maria had predicted. By 1991, he was the most athlete in the world. He won his first championship and cried on national television, holding the trophy like it was the most precious thing in the world. But in quiet moments in his hotel room, he looked at Maria's picture and wished she could see what she had helped him become. In 1993, when his father died, Michael thought about Maria's words from that first night in the gym. People who care don't fail. He had cared so much about basketball, about winning, about proving himself. But he had failed to care enough about finding her. During his retirement to play baseball in 1994, Michael hired a private investigator named Frank Morrison. Find a woman named Maria Vasquez, he told Frank. Mexican, about my age. She was in Chicago until 1985, then moved to California. Might have married a man named Roberto. Frank spent 6 months looking. He found 12 Maria Vasquez in California. None of them were the right one. It's like she disappeared, Frank told Michael. Maybe she changed her name completely when she got married. Michael came back to basketball in 1995 and won 3 more championships. Each time, during the celebration, he thought about Maria. She had believed in him when he barely believed in himself. In 2009, when Michael was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, he gave an emotional speech about all the people who had helped him. He almost mentioned Maria. but stopped himself. What if she was watching? What if she didn't want to be reminded of him? After his playing career ended, Michael became a businessman. He owned the Charlotte Hornets. He made shoes and carnals. He had more money than he could ever spend. But he never stopped wondering about Maria. In 2020, during the COVID lockdown, Michael watched old games on TV. He saw himself as a young man, fierce and determined. He remembered Maria telling him he would be special. "I should have fought harder for her," he told his friend Marcus Thompson over the phone. "I should have gone to California and found her." "It's never too late," Marcus said. "Not if you really want to know." Maria's story. Maria Elena Vasquez became Maria Santos in 1991 when she married Roberto. But she never threw away Michael's rookie card from 1984. She kept it in her jewelry box, hidden under her wedding ring case. Los Angeles was hard at first. Maria worked 3 jobs while finishing her teaching degree at night. Her mother died just 2 months after they arrived, never getting to see Maria graduate from college. Roberto Santos was a mechanic who lived in their apartment building. He was kind and patient and didn't ask too many questions about Maria's past. When she told him about a basketball player she used to know in Chicago, Roberto just nodded and said, "He must have been special." "Why do you say that?" Maria asked. "Because sometimes when his games are on TV, you get that look in your eyes, like you're remembering something good." Maria married Roberto because he was good to her and to Diego. Because he made her feel safe. Because he didn't mind that she wasn't completely in love with him. But she never told him about the nights she stayed awake watching Michael's games, whispering, "I'm proud of you," to the TV screen. In 1993, when Michael's father was murdered, Maria cried for hours. She wanted to call him, to comfort him somehow. But what would she say? "Hi, remember me? The girl who lied to you and broke your heart?" She followed his baseball career in the newspapers. When he came back to basketball, she cheered quietly in her living room. Roberto died in a car accident in 2011. When Sofia was only 3 years old, the drunk driver who hit him walked away without a scratch. Maria was devastated. But not just because Roberto was gone. She was sad because she realized she had never loved him the way he deserved to be loved. At Roberto's funeral, she made a promise. She would be the best mother she could be to Sofia. She would give her daughter all the love she had kept locked away. Maria moved back to Chicago in 2011. She told herself it was for a better teaching job, but really she wanted to be near the places where she had been truly happy, even if Michael was long gone. She got a job at Benito Juarez Elementary School, teaching 2nd grade. Many of her students were like she had been, children of immigrants trying to learn English, trying to fit in. "Mrs. Santos understands us," they would tell their parents. And they were right. Maria saw his name on the announcement and felt her heart stop. "Are you okay, Mama?" 4-year-old Sofia asked, seeing her mother's face go pale. That morning, Maria called in sick. But then she thought about her students. They were so excited to meet a real basketball star. She couldn't let them down. She went to school but stayed in her classroom, grading papers with shaking hands. At 10:30 a.m., she heard voices in the hallway. Deep, familiar laughter. Her hands started shaking so hard she couldn't hold her pen. "Mrs. Santos?" One of her students, Miguel, poked his head into the classroom. "The basketball man is here. Don't you want to see him?" "I'm very busy, Miguel. But you go ahead." Maria heard footsteps outside her door. She looked up and saw a shadow pass by the window. Her heart pounded so hard she thought it might burst. She got up quickly and hid in the supply closet, leaving the door cracked open just enough to see the hallway. He stopped right outside her door and looked in through the window. "Is this Mrs. Santos' classroom?" she heard him ask. "Yes, but she's not feeling well today," Principal Martinez said. "We can skip this one." "No, that's okay," Michael said. "I'd like to meet her students anyway." Maria watched through the crack in the closet door as Michael entered her classroom. He looked around at the student artwork on the walls, the Spanish and English books on the shelves, the photo of her with her class on the desk. He picked up the class photo and studied it for a long moment. "These kids are lucky to have her," he said quietly. Then he was gone. Moving on to the next classroom. Maria stayed in the closet for 10 more minutes, crying silently. He had been so close, close enough to touch. But she couldn't face him. Not after all these years. Not after the lie she had told. That night, Sophia came home excited. Maria smiled and hugged her daughter. "That's wonderful, Misha. He asked about you. He said he hoped you felt better soon." "Uh-huh. He seemed really nice. He said good teachers are the most important people in the world." That night, Maria took Michael's rookie card out of her jewelry box and looked at it for a long time. The young man in the photo looked so hopeful, so ready to take on the world. "I'm sorry," she whispered to the picture. "I'm so sorry I wasn't brave enough today." Until now. February. Maria felt the lump while she was taking a shower. A small, hard bump under her left arm that hadn't been there before. Her first thought wasn't fear. It was anger. "Not now," she whispered to herself. "Please, not now." Sophia was a junior in high school, getting good grades, talking about college. Maria finally felt like they were in a good place. She had saved up almost enough money to help with Sophia's college costs. Life was finally getting easier. The lump disagreed. Dr. Patricia Williams at the community health clinic was gentle but direct. "It's breast cancer," she said, showing Maria the test results. "Early stage. We caught it soon, which is good news." "What kind of treatment?" Maria asked. She was sitting very straight in the plastic chair, hands folded in her lap. She always sat up straight when she was scared. "Surgery first, then chemotherapy, maybe radiation. The whole process will take about 6 months. How much will it cost?" Dr. Williams looked uncomfortable. "Your insurance will cover about 60%. The rest, we're looking at maybe $15,000. Maria's stomach dropped. $15,000 might as well have been $1 million. She made $38,000 a year as a teacher. After rent, food, and Sophia's school expenses, she had maybe $200 left each month. Yes, but Dr. Williams had been Maria's doctor for 3 years. She knew about Roberto's death, about raising Sophia alone. "You need to start treatment soon. Don't let money stop you from getting help." "I won't," Maria lied. "I'll figure it out." That night, Maria sat at her kitchen table with a calculator and a pile of bills. She added and subtracted numbers for 2 hours. No matter how she did the math, there wasn't enough money. She could take a second mortgage on the tiny house she and Roberto had bought in 2009. But then what would happen to Sophia if the cancer came back? What if Maria couldn't work? She could ask her brother Diego for help. He had a good job now in Phoenix. But he had his own family, his own problems. She could tell Sophia about the cancer and let her daughter worry and stress instead of focusing on school. Or she could keep it a secret and hope for the best. Maria chose the secret. 3 weeks later, Sophia Santos was not stupid. Her mother was acting weird, and 16-year-old girls notice everything. First, Maria started coming home late on Tuesdays and Thursdays, saying she had teacher meetings. But when Sophia called the school to ask her mom something, the secretary said there were no meetings those days. Second, Maria was tired all the time. She fell asleep on the couch watching TV. She forgot to buy groceries twice in 1 week. Maria never forgot anything. Third, there were medical bills in the mailbox. Sophia saw them when she brought in the mail after school. "Mom," Sophia said one evening while they were eating dinner, "are you sick?" Maria almost choked on her rice. "What?" "No, Misha. Why would you ask that? You're different. Tired. And there are doctor bills. Just routine checkups. I'm getting older, you know. I have to take better care of myself." Sophia didn't believe her, but she didn't push. Her mom would tell her when she was ready. She always did. But 3 days later, Sophia found her mother crying in the bathroom at 2 a.m. "Nothing, baby. Go back to bed. I'm not a little kid anymore. Let me help you." "I have cancer," Maria whispered. "Breast cancer. I didn't want to tell you because you have enough to worry about with school." Sophia felt like the floor dropped out from under her. "What kind of cancer? Is it bad?" "The doctors say it's early stage." "That's good. But the treatment is expensive, and I don't know how we're going to pay for it." Sophia hugged her mother tight. "We'll figure it out. We always do." But lying in bed that night, Sophia made her own plan. The next day, "Help my amazing mom beat cancer." Sophia stared at the GoFundMe page she had created on her laptop. She had used her favorite photo of Maria, One from last year's school carnival where her mom was face painting a kindergartner, both of them laughing. She wrote about how Maria worked 2 jobs to support them after Roberto died, how she volunteered at the community center on weekends, teaching English to new immigrants, how she made dinner for elderly neighbors when they were sick. My mom has given everything to help other people. Sophia wrote, now she needs help, but she's too proud to ask for it. She doesn't know I'm doing this. Please, anything you can give will help us save the most important person in my world. Sophia set the goal at $20,000. It seemed impossible, but she had to try. She shared the link with her friends at school. They shared it with their parents. Her English teacher, Mrs. Rodriguez, shared it on Facebook. In 2 weeks, they raised $847. It wasn't nearly enough, but it was something. Meanwhile, across town, Dr. Jennifer Kim had volunteered at Benito Juarez Elementary School for 2 years. She worked with kids who had trouble focusing, helping them learn better ways to study. She loved working with Maria's 2nd grade class. The kids were excited to learn, and Maria had a special way of making every child feel important. Mrs. Santos, Dr. Kim said one Thursday afternoon, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" Maria looked up from the papers she was grading. She looked thinner than usual. Dr. Kim noticed, and there were dark circles under her eyes. "Of course. What can I help you with?" "Actually, I wanted to help you. I couldn't help but notice you seem tired lately. Is everything okay?" Maria forced a smile. "Just busy. You know how it is." Dr. Kim sat down across from Maria's desk. "I work with a lot of teachers. I know what busy, tired looks like. This is different." For a moment, Maria's mask slipped. Dr. Kim saw fear and sadness in her eyes. "I'm fine," Maria said quietly. "Really? You know, you remind me of someone," Dr. Kim said. "A teacher I knew in college. She was like you, always putting her students first, always caring more about other people than herself. She made a real difference in kids' lives." "Thank you," Maria said. "That means a lot." That night, Dr. Kim couldn't stop thinking about Maria Santos. There was something familiar about her story. A single mother working multiple jobs, too proud to ask for help. Dr. Kim remembered a conversation she'd had with Marcus Thompson, her friend who used to play for the Bulls. Years ago, Marcus had mentioned that Michael Jordan was trying to find someone, a woman named Maria who had been important to him in college. "Marcus?" she said when he answered. "This might sound crazy, but I think I might know the woman Michael has been looking for." 3 days later, Marcus Thompson sat in his car outside Benito Juarez Elementary School, watching Maria Santos walk to her beat-up Honda Civic. Even from a distance, he could see it was her. He had been Michael's teammate for 2 years in the 1990s. Michael had shown him Maria's picture once, back when they were both young and stupid and thought love was simple. "This girl I knew in college," Michael had said. "Smartest person I ever met. Kindest too. I've been trying to find her for 10 years. That was in 1995. It was now 2024, and Marcus was looking at that same girl, now a woman with gray threads in her black hair and worry lines around her eyes. He waited until she drove away, then called Michael. "I found her," he said simply. "Found who?" "Maria, the woman you've been looking for all these years. Her name is Maria Santos now. She's a teacher here in Chicago, and Michael, she needs help." "Michael? You there?" 6 miles from where you first met her. She never really left, man. She came back." Marcus thought about the GoFundMe page he had found online, about Dr. Kim's description of a woman who was clearly struggling but too proud to admit it. "She's been better," he said. "But Michael? She's going to be just fine. Because you're going to make sure of it." That night, Michael Jordan sat in his Chicago penthouse, staring at the city lights. Somewhere out there, 6 miles away, was the woman who had believed in him when he barely believed in himself. She was sick. She was struggling. She needed help. And this time he wasn't going to let pride or fear or misunderstanding keep them apart. This time he was going to fight for her the way he should have fought 39 years ago. March. Michael Jordan hadn't slept in 3 days. He sat at his computer at 3 a.m., scrolling through every piece of information he could find about Maria Santos. The GoFundMe page broke his heart. The photo showed Maria painting a child's face, both of them smiling. But Michael could see what others might miss. The tiredness in her eyes, the way she held her shoulders like she was carrying the world. "Help my amazing mom beat cancer." The words hit him like a punch to the stomach. Maria had cancer. She was struggling to pay for treatment. She was working 2 jobs and raising a teenage daughter alone. And she was too proud to ask for help. Just like she had been 39 years ago, Michael read every word of Sophia's fundraising page. His hands shook when he got to the part about Roberto's death in 20. "My mom loved my dad very much," Sophia had written. "When he died, she could have given up. Instead, she worked 3 jobs to keep our house and make sure I had everything I needed. She never complained. She never asked for help. She just did whatever it took to take care of me." Michael wiped his eyes. Maria had found love after all. She had been happy with Roberto. The thought should have made him sad, but instead he felt grateful. Maria deserved to be loved and cared for. But now she was alone again. Fighting cancer alone. Working herself to death alone. Not anymore. Michael picked up his phone and called Marcus. "I need you to find out everything," he said when Marcus answered on the first ring. "It's 3 a.m., man. I don't care. I need to know where she lives, where she works, what hospital she goes to, what her daughter needs. Everything." "Michael, slow down. What's your plan here?" "I'm gonna help her." Michael did remember. It's what had driven them apart before. But he also remembered something else. "She told me once that she wouldn't accept charity," Michael said. "But she might accept love." Marcus was quiet for a moment. "What do you mean?" I'm not gonna offer to help her as some rich guy who feels sorry for her. I'm gonna help her as someone who never stopped caring about her." The next morning, Frank Morrison was the same private investigator Michael had hired in 1994. He was older now, retired officially. But he agreed to help Michael one more time. "I found everything you asked for," Frank said, sliding a thick folder across Michael's desk. "But boss, you should know, this lady has been through a lot." Michael opened the folder. Inside were photographs, documents, school records, medical information that Frank had somehow obtained. Maria's teaching awards from 2015, 2018, and 2022, a newspaper article about her volunteer work with immigrant families, photos from school events where she was always in the background, always helped. "She's a good person," Frank said. "Everyone I talked to said the same thing. Kids love her. Parents trust her. Other teachers respect her." "What about her daughter? Straight-A student. Plans to study education in college. Like her mom. Works part-time at a bookstore to help with expenses." Michael studied a photo of Sophia from the school newspaper. She was accepting an award for community service, standing next to Maria. Both of them were smiling. But Michael could see the resemblance to Roberto and Sophia's face. The same kind eyes, the same gentle smile. "What about the medical stuff?" Michael asked. Frank's expression got serious. "The cancer is treatable, but the bills are adding up fast. She's been skipping treatments because she can't afford them all." So Michael's jaw tightened. "What do you mean skipping treatments?" "She was supposed to have surgery 3 weeks ago. She postponed it because the hospital wanted $5,000 up front. And the insurance covers about half. But there are deductibles, co-pays, medications that aren't covered. It adds up quick." Michael closed the folder and looked out his office window at the Chicago skyline. Somewhere out there, Maria was probably in a classroom right now, teaching kids and pretending everything was fine. "Frank, I need you to do something else for me." "What's that?" "That's going to be a lot of money, boss." Michael looked at Frank like he was crazy. "Do you know who you're talking to?" That afternoon, Dr. Jennifer Kim was grading tests in the teacher's lounge when her phone rang. "Dr. Kim? This is Michael Jordan." Jennifer almost dropped her phone. "I'm sorry." "What?" "Marcus Thompson gave me your number. He said you know Maria Santos." "Yes. Wow. This is really you. It's really me. And I need your help." For the next hour, Michael asked Dr. Kim dozens of questions about Maria. How was her health? Was she eating enough? Did she seem scared? What did her students think of her? "She's one of the best teachers I've ever worked with," Dr. Kim said. "But she's struggling. She tries to hide it. But I can tell. What would help her most? What if the help came from someone who cared about her? Not charity, but love?" Dr. Kim was quiet for a moment. "You really knew her before, didn't you?" "She saved my life once," Michael said simply. "Now it's my turn to save hers." That evening, Michael sat in his car outside Benito Juarez Elementary School, waiting for Maria to come out. He had been sitting there for an hour, trying to work up the courage to approach her. At 6 p.m., the side door opened and Maria walked out. She moved more slowly than he remembered and she looked thinner, but it was definitely her. The same careful way of walking, the same way of checking her surroundings before getting in her car. Michael started to get out of his car, then stopped. What would he say? "Hi, remember me? The guy you lied to 39 years ago?" That night, Michael called his lawyer. "I need to set up some things," he said. "Medical payments, scholarship funds, property improvements. But it all has to be done carefully. The person receiving the help can't feel like charity. How much money are we talking about?" Michael had done the math. Maria's medical bills, Sophia's college costs, a reliable car, money to live on while she recovered. Maybe some improvements to her school. 200,000 should cover it, Michael said. "That's very generous." "It's not generous," Michael said. "It's love." But the money wasn't the real gift. The real gift was going to be much more personal. Something that only Maria would understand. Michael walked to his bedroom safe and took out a small wooden box. Inside was the letter Maria had written him in 1985. The lie that had kept them apart for 39 years. He sat at his desk and pulled out a piece of paper. For the first time since he was 22 years old, Michael Jordan wrote a love letter. "Maria, I should have fought harder for us. Your pride was one of the things I loved most about you. But it also kept us apart. You were right. We both became somebody special. You became the teacher you always dreamed of being. You raised a beautiful daughter. You've spent your life helping other people's children learn and grow. Now let me help you the way you once helped me. You gave me hope when I had none. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Let me return the favor. I never stopped looking for you. I never stopped wondering what happened to the girl who shared her coffee with a scared basketball player. Please let me take care of you the way I should have taken care of you 39 years ago. All my love, Michael." He folded the letter and put it in the wooden box, next to Maria's old letter. Tomorrow, he would bring both of them to her door. This time, there would be no misunderstandings. This time, there would be no pride keeping them apart. This time, love was going to win. March. Michael spent the next week planning like he was preparing for the most important game of his life. Because in many ways he was. Every morning, he drove past Maria's neighborhood, learning her routine. She left for school at 7:15 a.m. in her old Honda. She came home around 4 p.m. on most days, but stayed late on Tuesdays and Thursdays for her second job cleaning the medical office building downtown. On weekends, she took 3 buses to get to the hotel where she cleaned rooms for extra money. The bus ride took 2 hours each way. "This is ridiculous," Michael told Marcus over the phone. "She's killing herself working all these jobs while fighting cancer. So what's your plan?" Michael had been thinking about this for days. Just giving Maria money wouldn't work. She would refuse it, just like she had 39 years ago. He needed to be smarter. He called his friend David Chen, who ran a charity foundation. "What kind of things?" "Medical bills, college scholarships, school improvements, maybe a car for someone who needs reliable transportation." David was used to rich people wanting to help others while staying anonymous. "How much are we talking about?" "Whatever it takes." March. Michael met with Dr. Patricia Williams at the community health clinic. He had Dr. Kim arrange the meeting without mentioning his name. "I understand you have a patient named Maria Santos," Michael said. Dr. Williams looked suspicious. "I can't discuss patient information with strangers." Michael handed her a business card. Her eyes went wide. But why are you asking about Maria?" "Because she's important to me. And I want to make sure she gets the best possible care." "Mr. Jordan, I'm not asking you to break any rules. I'm asking you to tell me what it would cost to give her the best treatment available. Money is not an issue." Dr. Williams was quiet for a long moment. "She's been postponing treatments because of the cost. The cancer is very treatable, but she needs surgery soon. What if someone paid for everything? All of it. Surgery, chemotherapy, medications, follow-up care for the next 5 years. That would probably save her life. Then do it. Send the bills to this foundation. Michael handed her David Chen's card. Just don't tell her where the money came from yet. March 3rd, Michael visited Benito Juarez Elementary School during lunchtime. He wore a baseball cap and sunglasses, hoping no one would recognize him. He found Maria's classroom and looked through the window. She was reading a story to her students in both English and Spanish, making sure every child understood. Even though she looked tired, her face lit up when the kids laughed at funny parts of the story. "Excuse me," a voice said behind him. "Can I help you?" Michael turned around. A tall man in a tie was walking toward him. Probably the principal. "I'm just looking around," Michael said. "My friend's daughter goes here." "Are you Michael Jordan?" the man asked, squinting at him. Michael sighed and took off his sunglasses. "Yes, I am. I'm interested in helping. Maybe funding some improvements." Principal Martinez's eyes lit up. "We could really use a new library. And our computer lab is from Mrs. Santos? She's one of our best teachers. She's been asking for bilingual books for years, and she dreams of having a proper reading corner for the kids. Honestly, the kids love her, but she's been missing work lately. I think she's sick, but she won't admit it. What if she could take time off without worrying about money? That would be a miracle." March 4th, Michael called Sophia's high school and spoke to the guidance counselor. "I'm interested in funding college scholarships," he said, using his real name this time. The counselor nearly fainted. "We have many deserving students," she said when she recovered. "I'm particularly interested in students who want to study education. Students whose parents are teachers." "Oh, like Sophia Santos. She's applying to several education programs. Her mother is a teacher too." "What kind of grades does she have?" "Straight A's. She works part-time to help her family, but she never lets it affect her schoolwork. She's exactly the kind of student who deserves help." "Good. I want to set up a full scholarship fund for her. 4 years. Everything paid for." It felt like fate. March 15, 2024. The day everything was ready. Michael had arranged all of Maria's medical bills to be paid directly to the hospital. A full college scholarship for Sophia, managed through David's foundation. A 2022 Honda CR-V to replace her dying car, practical, not flashy. Enough money in an education fund to support both Maria and Sophia for 2 years. But the most important gift was the smallest one. The wooden box containing both letters, hers from 1985 and his new response. Michael practiced what he would say. He practiced how he would explain everything. He practiced how he would tell her that he had never stopped loving her. At 3 p.m., he called Sophia's cell phone. "Hello?" A teenage voice answered. "Is this Sophia Santos?" "Yes." "Who is this?" Silence. Then, "The Michael Jordan." "Yes. And I need your help with something very important." It took Michael 20 minutes to convince Sophia that this wasn't a prank. When she finally believed him, she started crying. "You knew my mom when she was young?" "I did. She was the kindest, smartest person I'd ever met. And from what I hear, you turned out just like her." "Why are you calling me?" "Because I want to surprise your mother. But I need to make sure she's going to be home. And I need someone to record it. This is going to be a special moment." Sophia was quiet for a moment. "Does this have to do with her being sick?" "Partly. But mostly it has to do with me loving your mother for 39 years and never getting the chance to tell her." "Oh my God," Sophia whispered. "This is really happening. Are you okay with helping me? Are you kidding?" "Yes." "When?" "Today. In about an hour." Michael hung up the phone and looked at himself in the mirror. His hands were shaking. His heart was pounding. He felt like that nervous 21-year-old kid shooting free throws alone in a gym at midnight. The kid who had met a girl named Maria who changed his life forever. He picked up the wooden box and headed for the door. 39 years of waiting were about to end. March 15, 2024. Maria Santos felt like she had been hit by a truck. The chemotherapy session that morning had been harder than new. Her whole body ached, and she could barely keep her eyes open during the bus ride home. All she wanted to do was lie on her couch and rest before making dinner for Sophia. But when she got to her street, something was different. Cars. Expensive cars parked along Maple Street where expensive cars never parked. Black SUVs with tinted windows. A few people standing around with cameras. "What's going on?" Maria whispered to herself. She climbed the stairs to her apartment slowly, each step feeling like a mountain. Her keys shook in her hands as she unlocked the door. "Sophia," she called out. "Mija, are you home?" "In here, Mom." Sophia's voice came from the living room, but it sounded strange, excited and nervous at the same time. "What are you doing?" Maria asked. Just sit down, Mom. Please." "Sophia, you're scaring me. What's going on with all those cars outside?" Before Sophia could answer, the doorbell rang. Maria froze. Her heart started pounding, but not from the chemotherapy this time. Something about that doorbell ring felt important. "Final. I'll get it," Sophia said quickly. "No, Mija. I'll answer my own door." Maria walked to the front door, Sophia right behind her with the phone camera ready. Through the peephole, Maria could see a tall figure in a black jacket. The person was holding something small in their hands. She unlocked the door and opened it slowly. Time stopped. Michael Jordan stood on her doorstep, looking exactly like the young man she had fallen in love with, but with gray in his hair and lines around his eyes that showed he had lived a full life. He was holding a small wooden box wrapped in gold paper. For a moment, neither of them moved. Neither of them breathed. "Michael?" Maria's voice was barely a whisper. Her legs felt weak. "Is that really you?" "Hello, Maria," he said, his voice gentle and warm. "It's been a long time." Maria's knees buckled. She grabbed the doorframe to keep from falling, then slid down until she was sitting on the floor. Her phone clattered out of her coat pocket and across the tiles. "I don't understand," she whispered, looking up at him with tears streaming down her face. "How did you... why are..." Michael stepped inside and knelt down next to her. He looked around the small apartment, at the family photos covering every wall, at Sophia's school awards displayed proudly on a shelf, at the cozy furniture that showed this was a home full of love. His eyes stopped on one particular photo. Maria in her teacher's dress standing with a class of second graders, all of them smiling at the camera. "You became a teacher," he said softly. "You always said you would." Maria couldn't seem to form words. "I can't believe you're here. I can't believe you're really here." Behind them, Sophia was recording everything, tears streaming down her own face. She had never seen her strong mother look so vulnerable, so shocked. Michael set the golden box on the floor next to Maria. "I've been looking for you for a very long time. But how did you find me?" "It's a long story," Michael said. "But the important thing is that I found you, and I'm not too late." Maria looked at him through her tears. "Too late for what?" "To tell you that I never stopped thinking about you. To tell you that you were the most important person I ever knew. To tell you that I should have fought harder for us 39 years ago." Maria looked at her daughter, then back at Michael. "We knew each other when I was young. Before I met your father." He turned back to Maria. "I heard about Roberto. I'm sorry. From everything I've learned, he was a good man." "He was," Maria said, wiping her eyes. "He loved Sophia like she was his own daughter. And now you're fighting this battle alone," Michael said. "The cancer, the medical bills, working yourself to death trying to take care of everything." Maria's face went pale. "How do you know about the cancer?" Michael picked up the golden box and held it out to her. "This is for you. But first, I need to explain some things. Michael, I can't accept gifts from you. Not money. I've paid your medical bills," Michael said. "All of them. You don't have to worry about the cost of treatment anymore." "Michael, no. I can't let you. I've set up a college scholarship for Sophia. Full ride to any school she wants to attend." Sophia gasped. "What?" "I've arranged for your classroom at school to be renovated into a proper bilingual learning center, with new books and computers and everything your students need." Maria was crying harder now. "This is too much. This is charity. And you know how I feel about..." "It's not charity," Michael said firmly. "And there's more. There's a car in your driveway. A reliable one that won't break down. And there's money set aside so you can take time off work to get better without worrying about bills." "I can't accept this," Maria said, but her voice was weak. "It's too much." "Open the box," Michael said softly. With trembling fingers, Maria untied the gold ribbon and lifted the lid. Inside were 2 pieces of paper. She recognized the first one immediately. "My letter," she whispered. "I kept it all these years," Michael said. "Even though it broke my heart. Even though I knew you were lying." Maria looked up at him sharply. "Lying? There was no Roberto in Los Angeles in 1985. There was no job opportunity. You left because of that loan shark, didn't you? Because you were too proud to let me help you." She read it silently, tears dripping onto the paper. When she finished, she looked up at him with wonder in her eyes. "You really kept looking for me, for 39 years. And now I found you, and I'm not gonna let pride or fear or anything else keep us apart again." Michael reached out and gently touched her face. "This isn't charity, Maria. This isn't some rich guy helping a poor woman. This is me taking care of someone I love. Someone I've always loved." "But it's been so long," Maria whispered. "We're different people now. Are we? You're still the kindest person I know. You're still putting other people before yourself. You're still too proud to ask for help when you need it." Michael smiled, and it was the same tired, hopeful smile from that first night in the gym. "And I'm still that scared kid shooting baskets at midnight, hoping someone believes in me." Maria looked at Sophia, who was crying and recording and trying to understand everything that was happening. "Misha," Maria said softly, "meet the man who taught your mother that dreams can come true if you work hard enough." Sophia looked at Michael with new respect. "You really loved her all this time?" "Every day," Michael said simply. He stood up and offered Maria his hand. She took it and let him help her to her feet. For a moment they just stood there, looking at each other 39 years older, but with the same connection they'd had as young people. "So what happens now?" Maria asked. "Now you get better," Michael said. "Now Sophia goes to college. Now you let me take care of you the way I should have taken care of you when we were young. And then," Michael smiled, "then we see what happens when 2 people get a second chance at love." Outside, they could hear car doors slamming and people talking excitedly. Someone was probably posting the video on social media already. But inside Maria's small apartment, the world had shrunk down to just the 3 of them. A woman who had spent 39 years wondering what if. A man who had never stopped looking for his first love. And a teenager who was watching her mother's broken heart finally start to heal. The golden box sat on the coffee table, both letters inside, the past and the present, the lie and the truth, the ending and the new beginning. All of it finally brought into the light. March 15, 2020. Sofia Santos stared at her phone screen in complete shock. The video she had posted to TikTok 2 hours ago showed 50,000 views. She refreshed the page. 75,000 views. "Mom?" she called from her bedroom. "You need to see this." Maria and Michael were sitting on the couch in the living room talking quietly. They had been catching up on 39 years of life, sharing photos, filling in the gaps that time had created. "What is it, Mija?" Maria asked. Sophia ran into the living room, holding her phone. "The video is everywhere. Everywhere." She showed them the screen. The view count was now at 150,000 and climbing by the second. The comments were flooding in so fast they couldn't read them. "Oh no," Maria said, covering her face with her hands. "The whole world is going to see me crying and falling down." "Mom, look at the comments," Sophia said excitedly. "They're all good." Michael leaned over to read some of them. "This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'm crying at work and I don't care. This is what real love looks like. MJ has always been the GOAT, but this makes him a legend as a human being. Teachers are angels and this proves it." "How many people have seen it?" Michael asked. Sophia refreshed the page again. 200,000. Wait, 300,000. Maria looked panicked. "I don't want to be famous. I just want to teach kids and live quietly." Michael squeezed her hand. "It'll be okay. My security team can help manage things if it gets too crazy." As if on cue, Michael's phone started ringing. It was David Chen from his foundation. "Michael, every news outlet in the country is calling me," David said. "CNN, ESPN, The Today Show. They all want to know about the Maria Santos story." "What are you telling them?" "Nothing yet. But you need to decide how much of this story you want to be public." Michael looked at Maria, who still looked overwhelmed. "Let me call you back." 7:45. The video had reached 1 million views. Sophia's phone hadn't stopped buzzing with notifications. Local news trucks were parked outside their building. "This is insane," Maria said, peeking through the curtains. "Mrs. Rodriguez from downstairs just knocked on our door asking for autographs." Michael's security team had arrived an hour ago to help control the crowds. But inside the apartment, it felt surreal. Just that morning, Maria had been a quiet elementary school teacher. Nobody knew. Now she was trending on Twitter. "Look at this," Sophia said, showing them her phone. Ellen DeGeneres shared the video. So did Oprah. And LeBron James commented. Michael read LeBron's comment out loud. "This is why MJ is the real GOAT. Not just in basketball but in life. Much respect. I still can't believe this is happening," Maria said. Sophia was scrolling through more comments. "Mom, listen to this one. I'm a teacher too, and seeing how Michael Jordan honored this woman's work makes me proud to be an educator." And this one, Michael added, reading over her shoulder. "My grandmother is a Mexican immigrant like Mrs. Santos. This video made me call her and tell her I love her." 8:30. The story had been picked up by major news outlets. Anderson Cooper was talking about it on CNN. ESPN was running a special segment called The Heart of a Champion. But the most touching responses were coming from teachers and single mothers around the world. A teacher in Texas posted, "This is why I keep teaching even when the pay is low and the hours are long. Because sometimes you touch a life and don't even know it." A single mother in Detroit wrote, "Seeing Mrs. Santos get the help she deserves gives me hope that things can get better for all of us. This is bigger than just us," Michael said, reading through the responses. "People are connecting with your story because it represents something important." "What do you mean?" Maria asked. "Hard work, dignity, love that doesn't give up. These are things everyone understands no matter where they come from." May on 15 p.m. Principal Martinez called Maria's cell phone. "Maria, I hope you're okay with all this attention," he said. "But I wanted you to know, we've gotten calls from people all over the world wanting to donate to our school." "Donate what?" "Books, computers, money for supplies. A woman in Japan wants to fund our entire art program. A man in Germany is sending us 1,000 Spanish-language books." Maria started crying again. But these were happy tears. "Really? The kids are so excited. They keep saying our teacher is famous. They're so proud of you." "I'm proud of them too," Maria said. 10,000 p.m. "Mom, look at this trend. Thank a teacher." People are posting videos thanking teachers who made a difference in their lives. And this one, Michael added, "Love wins." People are sharing their own second-chance love stories. Maria wiped her eyes. "I never thought my life could inspire anyone."
Are you kidding?
Sophia said, "You've been inspiring people your whole life. Now the whole world gets to see what I've always known, that my mom is amazing." Cancer patients were posting messages of support for Maria. "Stay strong, Mrs. Santos. You've got this." Other single mothers shared their own struggles and victories. "Thank you for showing us that we're not alone." But the messages that made Maria cry the most were from her own students' families. Miguel's mother wrote, "Mrs. Santos helped my son believe in himself when he thought he was stupid because his English wasn't good. She is an angel." Rosa's father posted, "My daughter comes home excited about school every day because Mrs. Santos makes learning fun. She deserves all the good things happening to her." "They love you," Michael said, reading over Maria's shoulder. "I love them too," Maria said. "That's the thing people don't understand about teaching. Those kids aren't just my students. They're my heart." The video had reached 10 million views. But more importantly, it had started conversations around the world about the value of teachers, the struggles of single parents, the power of love, and the importance of helping each other. Sophia fell asleep on the couch, exhausted from the excitement and emotion of the day. Michael covered her with a blanket. "She's a good kid," he said to Maria. "She's the best thing I ever did," Maria replied. "Even better than teaching." They sat quietly for a moment, watching the numbers climb on Sophia's phone. "Are you okay with all this attention?" Michael asked. "I know you like your privacy." "I'm scared," Maria admitted, "but also hopeful. If our story can help other people feel less alone, then maybe it's worth it." Michael took her hand. "Tomorrow is going to be crazy. There will be more reporters, more interviews, more attention. What do we tell them? The truth, that love is worth fighting for. That second chances exist. That teachers and single mothers and cancer survivors deserve support and respect. Outside, they could still hear people gathered on the street, taking pictures of their building, hoping to catch another glimpse of the woman who had captured Michael Jordan's heart for 39 years. Inside, Maria and Michael sat close together on the couch where she had raised Sophia alone for 8 years. The same couch where she had cried when Roberto died. The same couch where she had gotten the call about her cancer diagnosis. But tonight it felt different. Tonight it felt like hope. The video that started as a simple recording of a surprised mother had become something much bigger. It had become proof that love stories don't always end when young people make mistakes. That pride and time and distance can't destroy real connection. That sometimes the universe gives you exactly what you need when you need it most. 10 million people had watched Maria Santos fall to the floor in shock at seeing her first love again. But more importantly, they had watched her stand back up, accept help when she needed it, and choose love over fear. In a world full of bad news, it was exactly the story people needed to see. And this was only the beginning. March 16, Sophia Santos woke up to her phone buzzing with a call from her best friend Emma. "Are you seeing the news?" Emma practically screamed into the phone. "You're on every channel. CNN is calling you the girl who recorded the most romantic video in internet history." Sophia rubbed her eyes and looked around. She was still on the living room couch. Her mom was asleep in the chair across from her, and Michael Jordan was asleep on the other end of the couch, a blanket pulled up to his chin. "This is so weird," Sophia whispered into the phone. "Michael Jordan slept on our couch. This is the best thing that has ever happened to anyone ever." Emma said, "You have to tell me everything." But Sophia had been thinking about something all night. Something that had been bothering her since she was little. Something that seemed even more important now. "Emma, I have to go," she said. "I need to talk to my mom about something." Sophia hung up and looked at her mother, still sleeping peacefully for the first time in months. Then she looked at Michael, and something clicked in her mind. The way he had looked at her yesterday. Like he was seeing something familiar. The way her mom had reacted when she saw him. Like she was seeing a ghost from her past. And something else. Something Sophia had discovered 6 months ago, and never told anyone. She quietly got up and went to her bedroom, closing the door behind her. She pulled out a box from under her bed, the DNA testing kit she had gotten for her 16th birthday. The results had confused her at the time. According to the test, she had no genetic connection to Roberto's family. None at all. She had assumed the test was wrong, or that maybe Roberto had been adopted. But now, looking at those results again, a different possibility occurred to her. What if Roberto wasn't her biological father? Sophia opened her laptop and looked up photos of Michael Jordan when he was young. Really young. College age. She stared at a photo from 1985, Michael in his University of Illinois uniform, smiling at the camera. He had the same shaped eyes as her, the same way of tilting his head when he was thinking, the same stubborn chin. Her hands were shaking as she did the math. Michael and her mom knew each other in 1984-1985. Sophia was born in July 2008, but her mom had always said she was born early, very early. What if she hadn't been born early? What if she had been born exactly 9 months after? Sophia felt like she couldn't breathe. She looked in her mirror at her own reflection, then back at the photo of young Michael Jordan. The resemblance was impossible to ignore once you knew to look for it. 7:30 a.m. Maria woke up to find Sophia sitting at the kitchen table, staring at her laptop with tears in her eyes. "Misha? What's wrong?" Sophia looked up at her mother. "Mom, I need to ask you something. And I need you to tell me the truth." Something in Sophia's voice made Maria fully wake up. "What is it? Is Roberto my real father?" Maria felt like all the air had been sucked out of the room. "What kind of question is that?" "I took a DNA test 6 months ago. For a school project. I'm not related to any of Roberto's family. Not even a little bit." Maria's face went completely white. She sat down heavily in the chair across from Sophia. "The test must be wrong," Maria said weakly. "Mom." Sophia turned her laptop around so Maria could see the photo of young Michael Jordan. "Look at this picture. Really look at it." Maria looked at the screen and started crying immediately. "He's my father, isn't he? Michael Jordan is my real father. Maria put her head in her hands and sobbed. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I lied to you. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell him? Maria wiped her eyes and looked at her daughter. This beautiful, smart, kind girl who looked so much like the man sleeping in their living room. Because I was scared. Maria said simply, when I found out I was pregnant, it was 1987. 2 years after I left Chicago, Michael was becoming famous. He was dating models and actresses. I was nobody, but he had a right to know. Did he? I had lied to him about why I left. I broke his heart. What was I supposed to do, call him up and say, remember me? The girl who told you she was marrying someone else? Well, surprise, you're gonna be a father. Sophia was quiet for a moment, processing everything. What about Roberto? Roberto knew. Maria said softly. I told him the truth before we got married. He said it didn't matter. He said you were going to be his daughter no matter what. And you were. He loved you like you were his own blood. Yes, you are. Roberto raised you. He taught you to ride a bike. He sang you to sleep when you had nightmares. He worked extra hours to buy you school clothes. Biology doesn't make someone a father. Love does. They sat in silence for a moment, both of them crying. Does Michael know? Sophia asked. No, not yet. Are you going to tell him? Maria looked toward the living room where Michael was still sleeping. I don't know how. Mom, Sophia said gently. Look at me. Maria looked at her daughter's face, Michael's eyes, Michael's determined expression, Michael's way of sitting up straight when making an important point. He's going to figure it out, Sophia said. Probably today. You saw how he looked at me yesterday. You're right, Maria whispered. Oh God, you're right. At that moment, they heard movement from the living room. Michael was waking up. What do I do? Maria asked, panicking. You tell him the truth, Sophia said. Like you should have told me the truth years ago. Maria stood up on shaky legs. Sophia, are you angry with me? I'm confused. I'm sad. I'm excited. I'm scared. Sophia wiped her eyes. But I'm not angry. You did what you thought was best. And Roberto? Roberto will always be my dad. But Michael? Sophia looked at the photo on her laptop screen. Michael is my father. Maria nodded. I know. They heard Michael's voice from the living room. Good morning. Is everyone okay in there? We're coming, Maria called back, her voice shaking. She walked toward the living room. Sophia right behind her, carrying the laptop with Michael's photo still on the screen. Michael was standing by the window, looking out at the crowd of reporters still gathered on the street. He turned around when they came in. The media circus is getting bigger, he said with a smile. But my security team says they can. He stopped talking when he saw their faces. What's wrong? He asked immediately. Maria opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. Sophia stepped forward, holding the laptop. Michael, she said quietly. I need to show you something. Michael looked at the screen, then at Sophia, then back at the screen. His face went through a series of expressions: confusion, recognition, understanding, and finally, complete shock. He sank down onto the couch, like his legs had given out. Sophia, he whispered. Yeah, she said, tears streaming down her face. I'm your daughter. Michael stared at her for a long moment. Really looked at her. Saw his own eyes staring back at him. Saw his mother's smile. Saw the way she stood with one hip cocked. Just like he did when he was thinking. How long have you known? He asked Maria. About the pregnancy? Since 1987. About Sophia being yours for sure? Since the day she was born and I saw her eyes. Why didn't you tell me? Because I was young and scared and proud and stupid, Maria said, sitting down next to him. Because I thought you were better off without us. Michael looked at Sophia. Again. His daughter. His child. The smart, kind, beautiful girl who had recorded their reunion and helped bring them back together. Hi, Dad, Sophia said softly, echoing the moment from the previous day but with completely different meaning now. Michael stood up and walked over to her. He reached out and touched her face, the same way he had touched Maria's face the day before. You're my daughter, he said, like he was trying to make it real by saying it out loud. Michael pulled Sophia into a hug and she hugged him back. Both of them were crying now. You didn't know, Sophia said. And besides, Roberto was a good dad. Michael pulled back to look at her. He was. From everything I've heard, he was a great man. He was. But I always wondered why I felt different from his family. Now I know. Maria was watching them, crying and smiling at the same time. She's the best of both of us, she said. Your determination and my stubbornness. Michael laughed through his tears. That's a dangerous combination. Tell me about it, Maria said. She organized your surprise all by herself. I get that from both sides, Sophia said, grinning. They stood there for a moment, the three of them together. A family that had been separated by secrets and pride and fear, finally whole. Outside, the reporters were still waiting for another glimpse of the viral love story. Michael Jordan hadn't just found his lost love. He had found the daughter he never knew existed. And the internet was about to lose its mind all over again. That was the end of this incredible true story of love, second chances, and family secrets that captivated the world. Maria Santos got her second chance at love. Michael Jordan discovered he was a father, and Sophia finally understood where she came from. But most importantly, their story reminded millions of people that teachers deserve our respect. Single parents need our support, and love really can conquer all. We'd love to know where you're listening from. Drop a comment and let us know what city or country you're in. If this story touched your heart, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring true stories that will make you believe in the power of human connection. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. In a world that can sometimes feel divided, stories like Maria and Michael's remind us that kindness, love, and second chances are what truly matter.